Hey everybody, welcome to part 9 of building the Enterprise D from Eaglemoss and Hero Collector. So in this video we are going to be covering stages 31, 32, 33, and 34, and we will take a closer look at all these parts once I start working on them. I am very glad to see this part right here. This is the great big PCB board that I've been hoping we would get. This is going to go inside the saucer, and we can finally start connecting some of those wires, because it is just a spaghetti farm right in there, and this should help clean that up a little bit. The only thing I'm not looking forward to is trying to decipher which plugs go into which of these connector points, because that's going to be a huge mess. But anyway, at least we got the parts. Here is the new magazine for this section. So taking a look at it here, we get to see all the parts that are included in this once again. So we're going to be doing more panels. And it doesn't look like there's that much to build on this stretch, but that this part here is going to be, I think, a little bit difficult. Just looking at these, I mean, yeah, this is kind of crazy. I mean, you can see all the stuff that's getting plugged into right there. There's more over here. Trying to decipher which wires go in there from these diagrams is not going to be easy. So, yeah, I'm not looking forward to that at all. Hopefully it works out okay, though. Once we get them all installed, though, we'll be able to light all the lights in that entire section that we've got built. So that's going to be really cool. And it looks like there's still a bunch of empty ones still. So that's probably going to be for some more. They're probably going to have 2 of these. I would imagine there's going to have to be 2 of these boards, because there's no way that that's going to supply the power to the rest of the lights on there. Not to mention we still have to do the bottom part of the saucer. Let's see, we're going to be working some more on that side of the neck. I think we're going to finish that one side of the neck completely, so that's cool. Finally be able to finish using this part here. That's going to be nice. Yeah, because we're testing all the lights right there, so that's going to be good. And then, of course, the other stuff about episodes, specific episodes. The Measure of a Man, that was a really good episode. The Dolphin, I didn't really care for that one that much. Contagion, I don't remember what happened in that one. I'll have to rewatch that one. Oh, the Royale. I hated this episode when it first came out. I don't know why. I just didn't like it. And then after watching it a couple times more afterwards, I love it now. Especially, of course, Data's hilarious go at the craps tables. So, but yeah, I'm not really sure why I didn't like it at first, but I really like it now. Oh yeah, Times Square. That's where Picard was in some kind of a weird time shift or something. I don't remember. All right, so anyway, we will get started now on these latest parts. So getting back to work on this now after a month, it's kind of hard to kind of get back into it. I kind of wish I could just work on more of this at a time. But anyway, here is stage 31. We have this really nice clear section for the neck. I wish all the windows were done this way, as I have mentioned before. But this is very nice. I'm glad that they did not make us put those individually in there. This is great. We have a bunch of zip ties on here. They're the smaller ones. We're going to finally start getting those wires bundled up and looking a lot nicer in the saucer, because it just drives me crazy how those wires are all over the place right now. We also have this nice little jumper, I guess is what that would be called, and it's going to go in this board here. And speaking of the board, I am very glad to get this piece. This is going to be really nice. This is going to go inside the saucer. We're going to start plugging all those wires in. And then we have 2 more of the escape pods. All right, so let's get started. This first step is easy enough, so we're going to bring this piece back. This is part of the neck that we got from the last stage. So we're going to be taking that clear window piece now, and we're going to put it into this corner right here. So just match up these screw pieces right here with the holes in there. And just kind of push it in there. So we're going to have another piece go on here, I think in the next stage, but for now, we're just putting that in place. So yeah, that should look pretty good. All right, well, at least that was easy. Here is the large PCB board, and there is a lot of connectors in there. So when I talk about those wires that are in there, see the tiny little wires that are sticking up inside there, and the way they're aimed and angled? You got to be really careful when you plug those pieces in so you don't bend those. So here is the connector piece that we get with this particular stage. And we are going to be putting it, oh, well, I guess I should probably flip it over the right way. So we're going to be putting it in this one right here. So you got to make sure that on the hole here, see how the holes kind of favor one side of it? They're more closer to this side over here. So you want to put them in this way so that you don't mess those wires up in there. You don't want to be pushing down on it and then you find out that you bent everything in there. Okay. I always feel like those should go in further than they do. All right, well, that was easy. All right, next step. All right, so now we drag the main saucer section back out again because we're going to be working on this section right here. So there are some connector points right here and right here and over right here. So that's where the PCB board is going to go. So now you need to make sure that you get all these wires out of the way because this is going to go right on top. And you're going to screw it right into there and right into here. And I think it's going to use some FM screws to hold this in. And I should also mention that prior we were using that tape to bundle these wires together like they had in whatever step that was, but that tape is not going to hold, so I put some zip ties on here, so you may want to have some of these handy because it's a real pain to have those come loose. So anyway, let me get this board put in there and then we'll go on to the next step. All right, so I have to re-record this segment because I didn't have my microphone turned on. So anyway, when you first put this board on, when you screw it down there, you got to make sure that you don't over-tighten these. Don't put them on too tight. You don't want to be breaking the board. Our tendency is, to over-tighten stuff. So just snug them down, but don't overdo it. And then when it comes to putting these wires in here, it's a little hard to decipher which wires they're talking about because they refer to wires from stage 4 or stage 12 or whatever. I mean, how are you supposed to remember which wires were from which stage, especially if it was from, months ago? And so I wish they would make that a little more clear. But when it came to these ones, the first 3 were pretty easy. It was from the original bunch of wires that we had tape around. So those 3 go in here. And then there's 4 more. And from what I could figure, any of the wires that were coming from underneath the board, like these ones, or they were really close to the board like these, those are the ones that you'll plug into the last 4 over here. I think there's some over here that went over here as well. So that's my best guess because the ones off to the side here, these are way off to the side. You're not going to have to, these are going to have to come later as well as these. Those are going to probably go into another board. All right, well, anyway, hope that made that part a little easier. All right, so the diagram is a little weird once again. So it's showing that all of these wires that you had over here, including these 2, should go all the way over here and then you bundle them all together with this. But these ones aren't going to reach that far. And they said there will be one wire that's shorter that's not going to reach, and that's got to be this one, I'm assuming. So I don't know what to do with these. I think for now I'm just going to leave them kind of out. Maybe I'll bundle these all together later. When it comes to bundling the wires, it's as you get further along in the model, I think you're going to have to make some of your own choices on there and not necessarily follow the directions on stuff like that. But at least these ones are, neat and tidy now. So let me snip this off so that we don't have this long piece here. So there we go. All right, so at least those are neatened up and just looks a little bit better because, yeah. All right, now on to the next set of wires. All right, so the next set of wires are these ones here that we had bundled from previously. And then these ones are going to go in, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, so it's the 5th one over. So let's see to make sure we get the holes lined up properly. So that goes in here. And let's see, where's the other one? Okay, so they're both here. All right, this one will go in here, and I don't think it matters which one goes in which one. Okay, and this one. All right. Let's make sure those are in all the way. All right. Okay, so now we are going to bundle these ones up to the frame here. So let's take a look at what we got over here. All right, so next they have you take one of these zip ties and put it in this really awkward place right there. It's kind of weird the way they have it. So the next step here is to take the wires that we just got done doing, and we are going to bundle them right to this spot. So see if I can get this zip tie in here. Kind of wish they would have had you do these. I kind of wish this board would have been given to you earlier so that you can not do so many wires at once. It makes it a little easier to see, which wires they're referring to. All right, so I guess that's the way they want it to look. All right, and then the next one is going to go over here. So let me see if I can get this on video here. All right, so here's the next one. You can see I already laced it underneath right here. And then these are going to get placed down here. I'll try to get these out of the way for future use of these plugs here. All right, let me get a hold of this thing. All right. Man, you almost need to be a neurosurgeon to do all this stuff. All right, so let me make sure everything's, before I get that completely down, let me make sure everything is where I want it to be, so it's kind of out of the way. Okay. There we go. All right, so yeah, that should be pretty good there. So we'll just go ahead and snip these. And this one over here. All right, all right. Now we'll see where the next wires go. All right, so the next two sets of wires we're going to be doing are the ones right over here. These yellow and red ones here. So it's the red, black, white, and yellow ones. And they're the ones that connect right into these panels right in here. And those are going to go into the next set of plugs here. So let me see, I don't want to get these all twisted up. All right, so once again, keep an eye on which way the holes go. Put it in here. Okay. Alrighty, and then this one goes in the next one over. Like this. Kind of wish these plugged in a little easier. Alright, let me make sure those are in all the way. Some of these kind of fit kind of loose, and I always feel like they're not in there all the way, but as far as I can tell, they are. Okay, and then the next ones are these ones that have the two smaller plugs right here. They kind of have this kind of gray and red one, and they're all the way up here is where those come from. And those are going to go in these smaller sockets right over in here. So they go into the first two. So I want to make sure these aren't twisted either. All right, so we'll start with this one. And let's see, go this way. These ones are even more finicky because of how tiny they are. Okay. And this one is next. All right. These little ones are really kind of loose. I'm not sure why, but that's how they are. This one here that we did earlier, that one's really loose in there. Hopefully they don't have a problem with the connection. All right, so there's at least 4 more of those. All right, so pretty much whatever you have left on this far side that's still hasn't been connected, those are going to be the next wires that you're going to put on. So let me get this all set up here. So let me grab this one, and let's see, there should be one more over here somewhere. Oh, here it is. It's already right there. All right, so let me see. Let me try to untwist these. That one's the furthest one. This one's over here. Man, tell you, what a spaghetti farm. Okay, so let me see. I think I'm going to lace this underneath just so that I don't have wires yanking and pulling on each other. Okay, so let's start with this one. And that's going to go into the very next one back here. Okay. Make sure that's in. All right. And then let's see, where's the other one here? See, that was that one. See if I can find the other one. Well, here's the one that's the furthest. Oh, here it is. Man, I tell you. Okay, so this will be the next one. It's going to go in here. Okay. And then the furthest one. Kind of makes sense now. You can see why some wires are longer than others, because I have to stretch kind of a far distance to get to the board. And make sure I got that in right. It's hard for me to see this thing. This one's giving me a little bit of trouble here. Let me see if I can push that down straight. Well, let me see. Well, let me fumble with that, and then I'll get back to it. All right, so next we start tying down these wires. So we put a twist tie that's underneath that frame. I don't know if you can see how it's underneath there, right in that spot. So now, trying to get those under there is a little bit finicky. All right, so let's see. Let me get all this straightened out. These are the wires we want. And let's get this put on. I'm sorry, my hand was right in the way there. Okay, and there we go. I think I'll leave a little bit of slack just in case I need to slide these over a little bit. Let's see, I'm still going to need that one to get to. So, yeah, that'll be fine. I'm not going to overdo that. All right, so next, let's see, where do we go? Right here. So this is where the next zip tie goes. And let me see, was that part of it? I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm sorry to keep getting my hand in the way there. There's just so much going on here. Okay, let me see if I can get a hold of these. This is just, oh God, just crazy. All right, so let me get this started. And hopefully we got, man, I tell you, this is just a nightmare. It really is just a nightmare of wiring. I think they probably could have used maybe some less, not as many LEDs. Some of these panels, they have 2 LEDs in them, and it lights up, 5 windows, and 1 LED kind of would have done the trick there. All right, let's see, where's the last one? I think we have to put it over here. So let me try to make heads or tails of this real quick. All right, so this one I had to do partially off camera because I've been working on this for about 20 minutes now. So yeah, this is just a mess because you got a lot of slack over here on the end. But I think the basic idea here is to just kind of try to keep these all together. So that's what I'm going to do. And see how this one's kind of long compared to the others. If I have to put more zip ties in here as I go, I can most certainly do that. I did have to do that with these right here. These were the ones that didn't quite reach over to where they wanted you to bundle them all together over here. So you're just going to have to kind of do your own lacing and tying to get everything in there. But I mean, it doesn't look quite as neat as what they're showing in the instructions, but it's not too bad. I mean, it looks decent. I mean, at least everything's kind of where it needs to be, and we don't have like a complete mess of everything on here. So let me at least try to get these trimmed now. Let's see, I hope this is tight enough. Let me make sure. There we go. All right, this one here. At least I feel like I'm making some progress on this. When you're doing all those windows and wires, it kind of almost feels like you're not kind of getting anywhere when you're doing the same thing over and over. Okay, whew, man. And at least I didn't get that one caught. I almost bundled this with this. That would have been a mess. All right, on to the next step. Okay, so now we move to the other side here. And we have 3 of these wires that are still not connected to anything. So we have this one, and this one over here. All right, so these are going to get plugged into this side of the board. Let me move this over a little bit so we can see a little better. So now I got to figure out which wires are which, so let me figure that out for a second here. Okay, so this one over here gets plugged into this one right here. So we will do that. Okay, and let's see, this one here gets plugged into this far one. Let me see, which way do I got this, okay? Flip that around. Okay, man. Okay, and then this last one here, let's see, where does this one go? This one goes right on this, next to the one that we did at the very beginning. Okay. All right. Just make sure these are all in all the way. Looks like we are good. Whew. All right, good. And the final step now is we hook the battery pack up to that PCB board to make sure all the lights are working, and thank goodness everything looks like it is working. I'm very glad to see that. Usually when I do something like this, something doesn't end up working out, so thank goodness everything is lit. Oh man, that looks good. Yeah, that looks really, really good. Now, I am noticing that there is some light leaks going on between the panels right here and right here. See that going on? So what I think I might do is put some black tape in there just to kind of help keep that from happening. I was afraid that was going to happen because there's not, well, actually it almost looks like the light is bleeding through. See, if you look at this one right here, look at that. You can see if I can point to it. Where am I on camera here? Here we go. So see how the light is coming through between the lifeboats, and then the lifeboats are actually casting the light from in there. So I'm not even sure putting black tape is going to help right there. Let me see this one here. See, I don't think that's, I don't think it's going to help to put black tape in there because the LED is between the top surface right here and then of course the reflector underneath, and that's where that light is coming from. So they probably should have blackened that in. I mean, I don't know, it's, no matter what we do with this model, there's going to be light leaks on it just because of the design of it. Yeah, I don't know. That's going to be a problem, I think, for a lot of people. But I don't know. It bothers me, but at this point, I'm getting to the point where it's hard to care anymore just because of how much work this has been already. And it's not like I'm going to be leaving this lit all the time, especially since it's battery operated. So, I mean, see, you can see all these light leaks going on in the black windows here too. So, I mean, everything's not just, it just isn't, just the way that it's designed, you're going to have light leaks in it. So, yeah, I think that's something they could have maybe done better, but what are you going to do at this point? All right, I think we're on to stage 32 now, so let's get started with that. Stage 32 consists of these parts right here. So we have another one of these nice metal panels here that's got kind of like the really sharper pie wedge shape to it. Black windows, clear windows, more lifeboats. What is this? DM screws, CP screws, a couple of reflector bits here, and one string of LEDs. All right, so let's get started. Okay, so we start with the metal panel here and add the usual lifeboats and windows. And then we take the reflector piece right here, line up the holes so that it holds that in place. And then we take the LEDs that we got with this set, place them in the slots, and this one over here. Okay, and then 3 DM screws hold this all in place. Okay, so that's what it looks like once that's all assembled. So everything looks good there. All right, so next we're going to move on to the neck. So we break this big old neck piece back out again, right there. See the whole thing. And we're going to also break out this piece here. This is the earlier section. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take this reflector that fits on this part, and we're going to put it right on here. Let's see, probably should have it facing the right way though. There we go. All right, and then we're going to take the lights from this lower section that came out of here, and we're going to take the yellow and black wired LED, and that's going to go right in here. Okay, like that. All right, make sure that's on good and tight. And then we're going to take the other wires. These are the ones that came up from the higher section up in this area. And let me see, I think, which color are we going to use here? I think we're going to use the yellow and black again. So let me split these. And that is going to go, well, if I can get everything to stay in place. All right, this one goes under here. Like this. All right, and then we're going to put 3 CP screws on to hold that in place. Okay, so that's what it looks like when it's all assembled, and we're going to put all this to the side for now, which doesn't make sense because the next stage after this one is we're going to drag this back out again. So, oh well. Anyway, this is stage 33, and we have this is really cool. This is a plastic piece, but it's a really nice panel, and you'll notice the stripe there. So this is going to be the part where the impulse engine is, and that's really cool. Reflector, lifeboats, one strand of lights, another one of these cool window pieces. Absolutely love that. BP screws, clear windows, and dark windows. All right. All right, so once again, we have the lifeboats in place and the windows. And then we're going to take this reflector piece now. And oddly enough, it fits kind of high on this panel right here. Let's see. Oh, actually it goes way up here. So it almost kind of only covers half of it. All right, and then we'll take that strand of lights that came with this set, and the yellow and black wired LED goes right in here. Hopefully. There we go. And then we're going to put, 3 actually, BP screws in there. So let me get that all in place. And the light test, and it works just fine. And then we have this extra one that's going to be used at another time. So yeah, that looks really good. Love it. On to stage 34 now. We have another panel piece right here. This is a plastic one. There's that nice paint job. Reflector, 3 strands of wires and lights, BM, BP, and CP screws. Is that CP? Yeah, they are. More lifeboats here. I already got the Mike Lane Mod stickers on there. A reflector, and they give you kind of a lot of windows in this one. There's 2 sprues of clear and 1 screw of black. All right, we'll get started. Okay, so the usual step of putting a bunch of lifeboats and windows in place there. So now we are going to take this reflector, and we got to match up the screw holes and those holes right there too. So let me get these on here. Actually, before I put that on, I need to put this light in here. This is the black and red bulb, and because this is so deep right in here, it's going to make it really hard to put on. So I'm just going to go ahead and put this on now. Yeah, that's going to be a lot easier. There we go. Okay, so now we got some BP screws to hold this together. And once again, we are doing another light test here. Looks really good. There's going to be another LED that goes right in here, so that's going to brighten those up a little bit. But yeah, that looks really nice. Just thought I'd give you a side view of what that looks like. But yeah, I like it. Okay, so we are back to the neck once again, and we're going to finally finish this side of it, which is pretty cool. So we'll grab these window bits here, and let me see here. Where do these go? Like that. All right, so we fit this in. Okay, and then we have the reflector piece right here, and that's going to go on here. So now we have the remaining lights that were left over from the last time that we were working on this. So this one's going to go in here. And let's see, where's the other one here? Oh, here it is. Okay, so this one's going to go down here. Obviously, I'm going to have to get this in here better. All right. There we go. Now I think oops, that one came out, didn't it? So 3 CP screws are going to hold this together once I get it all in there. So, all right, let me get those all put in. Okay, so that is now all in place. So now we're going to turn this around. And I was wondering what these other 2 wires were for, these other 2 lights, but now we're going to use these now to plug this in. So let me see here. We're going to start with this, and we're going to do it kind of like we did before with the wires for the other side. So let's see, one of them goes through here. And here, actually, I'm going to bend this so it'll be easier to grip it. Grip it. And let me see. I'm going to have to go through this bottom section. Is that where they want it? Yeah. Oh boy. All right. See if I can grab that thing. Okay, there we go. Well, at least that was relatively easy. And now we got to plug it into this. See that one way in there? I knew that was going to be a problem. See that? So let me see if I can plug that in. Let's see, which way are these wires? This goes this way. Yeah, I knew that was going to be a problem when I saw that. Let's see, wait, do I have these? Okay, yeah, that's right. Because that's really tight in there. Let me see if I can get that in, and then I will continue. Okay, so got it in there. So now we take this other one, and this is going to go through this bottom hole right here. And we got to lace that through to the bottom here again. Actually, let me turn this so I can get it out of there easier. Okay, and man, really think they could have minimized the wiring a little bit on this. Or maybe had us do this earlier. Okay, there it is. All right, now let me plug this into, now there's another plug, and you can see it, and it's buried under these wires. Of course, it's under there, and that's where that's got to plug in. And rather than bore you to death with me fighting and cussing, I will just cut to it being plugged in. Okay, so by some miracle, I managed to get it in there. Okay, so now we got to turn this back around, and we are going to loosen, we have to loosen all these screws, and I don't know why they make us do this, because I already loosened these a little bit. I don't know why they make us put something together and then we end up taking it apart again. I don't know how loose I got to make. That one's pretty loose right there. I'm assuming we need a little bit of play in there is probably what it's for, because we are now going to put this panel on. So let me see here. I got to push these wires in here so that we're not pinching anything. See, I think I'll go this way with these. Boy, I tell ya, these wires are going to be the death of me. Okay, so that goes in up here. So I think I better, let's see, what do these look like? I think I better push these down a little bit. Okay. Not sure how much of this is going to lean against that. I'm guessing it's a lot. All right, well, let me fumble with this for a minute, and then I'll get it positioned. All right, so we got it pretty good. Now, there's a little tab right here. I don't know if you can see it. See that little tab on the front? That's got to go underneath right here. Make sure you're not pinching any wires. Okay, and then these wires up here, you're going to have to kind of smush them in. And let me see that. Now you got this big piece right here. That's got to go underneath like that. And let's see, does this go underneath? Yeah, okay, there we go. Wow. Okay, hopefully nothing's getting pinched in there. Hopefully, anyway. Okay, so now I guess we can start tightening these back down. And then, let me see, I think there's going to be some BM screws that are going to hold this on somehow. So, yeah, let me figure out where all those go. All right, so I just ended up taking off this entire top section because you have to get that piece right in here to go inside, or the metal should go inside that little plastic part. And it's really hard to line it up. You have to really squeeze the heck out of it. And once you finally get it in place, it's really in there. But man, that was quite a battle. All right, so now I got to put this piece back on. Oh gosh, that was terrible. Okay, so I got this back on, but it dawned on me that I'm going to have to take this off again, this part, because when I do the other side, I'm going to have to take this off in order for this to fit in here. I don't even know why they had us put this on. I mean, why didn't they just have this part go on after we get these side sections built? I mean, that was really kind of stupid, really. So, I mean, how many times do we have to screw and unscrew these? It's no wonder these get stripped out. So, yeah, that's really aggravating. So, yeah, God. So I didn't put these in very tight because I know we're going to have to go through this whole process again to do this side. But anyway, I mean, we do have that on now, and that's really good. And I'm assuming there's going to be some kind of a strip that goes across here that's going to hide these screws. And same with these, you know, they're going to have to hide these screw holes somehow. They'll probably just have those little buttons that go in there. Hopefully they don't look really bad. All right, so let's test out the lights on here. Let me see. Let me kill the lights here real quick, because I want to see what this looks like, and I want to make sure that everything works, because otherwise, let's see. All right, so let me turn this on. Here's the switch. Okay, good, good. There we are. Ah, that's very nice. Wow, that looks really good. Those windows look really, really nice. Yep, I like it, even though it was a hassle. Here's the other side. Oh, look at that. There's the light for the photon torpedo. It's kind of cool. They should have made that, well, I don't know. They should have made it red, I guess. Guess I could paint it a clear red. Yeah, it's going to be kind of weird. Well, maybe there's going to be a red filter that goes in there sometime. It's really bright. I mean, when you look right at it. So yeah, there we go. So we have these other two LEDs that are going to be part of the windows for this side. There's one more plug in here. See that empty one right there? That's probably going to be for another bank of lights, probably in the front here. Well, actually, I'm not sure where. But yeah, those look really good. Still a little bit of weird light leakage in the black areas here. If you look at it at certain angles, see how the light goes through there? And those are even the ones that were painted in. So, I don't know. All right, well, yeah, that looks pretty good. I'm actually pretty pleased with it. There's the impulse engine back here and all those. So, yeah, pretty cool. All right, so let's see what all we have completely finished now. So there we are. We managed to get all this wiring done in the saucer. I'm really glad to finally at least have a place for these wires to go. God, look at how many are still left in there. Jeez. So, yeah. But it looks a little nicer. We don't have the wires hanging out all over the place now. So that's good. At least we got some work done on that. And here is all the rest of it. The neck is now almost done. I think we should hopefully be able to finish it in the next 4 stages. We oddly have 3 of these panels that we built, and we didn't even put them on the saucer. And we still have this one here from the stage 31. We didn't even do anything with this one. And then we still have 2 more from the last 4 stages that we didn't install either. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 6 panels that we haven't even installed on the saucer. It's very strange the way they're doing this. But anyway, so yes, that completes stages 31, 32, 33, and 34. And once again, this was very exhausting. I don't know why I find building this kit exhausting, but I really do. That saucer was a killer with those wires. Well, this wasn't much better with that panel, but we are definitely making some good progress here. And I'm really glad to see that it's coming out looking pretty good, really. All right, well, anyway, thank you so much for your patience of watching this whole thing. I really appreciate it. I hope you're enjoying this series because it is fun to make the series too, and I hope you're enjoying watching it as much as I enjoy making it. So anyway, thank you all very much for watching. I very much appreciate it. I'll see you on the next video. So thanks again, and have a good one.